Modern women tutorials. It's easy to be a 3 or 4, but it's hard to be a wife. This is something I see a lot, time after time. Whenever somebody brings up the idea of, especially when another female does it, right, brings up the idea of wanting to be a wife, wanting to be in a relationship. And you always get these chicks that always want to be like, what if you don't want to be a wife? What if you don't want to be in a relationship? Well, good, that's fine. You don't want to do those things, that's fine. Then you're doing a great job at that. You're doing a great job at not being a wife. You're doing a great job at not being in a relationship. So keep it that way. The thing is, they're hypocrites because they don't want to be in a relationship, but they still want to interact with guys, even though it's like, well, to interact with a guy, relationship is usually part of that interaction. Because other than that, a guy rather not interact with you. Guys only interact with the female gender because they want, well, sex, obviously. That's one of the main things. And if you're not providing that, then they're really not interested in hanging out. And if that's all you're willing to give, then that's good. Good for guy. But if you want more than that, well, if you're not worthy of more than that, then don't be surprised you don't get more than that. You don't get more than just sex. Because that's the thing. Females want relationships. Guys want sex. Or access to sex. Which is why a lot of times you see guys online, talking about wanting to have multiple female partners, right? The main chick, which is the girlfriend, right? And then a whole bunch of side chicks. Just random chicks that he has sex with, right? Not necessarily have to be random, obviously, right? Don't want to catch diseases and stuff, but the point is they're, they're just extra chicks, right? Extra women. Because of sex. That's it, it's just sex. They're not going to wife them up or girlfriend them up. Because, you're the wife, you're the girlfriend, right? If that's the situation. Now, I don't agree with guys going out of their way to try to, deliberately try to have multiple chicks at the same time. If you're that guy and chicks want to share you, then lucky for you. They want to share you, and you're that guy who has multiple chicks. But if you're not that guy that multiple chicks want to share, then you're not that guy, and stop trying to be that guy. You're not him. Right? Be who you are. If you're the guy who can get a lot of chicks, then you're a guy who can get a lot of chicks. If you're the guy who can't get a lot of chicks, then you're just the guy who can't get a lot of chicks, and be grateful that you got one. Now, back to the whole, it's easier to be a 3 or 4, lady for the streets than to be a wife. And it is. Because being a 3 or 4, right, a lady for the streets, it's a selfish thing. Being a wife is a selfless thing. So it's easy to be selfish. It's hard to be selfless, right? Because selfless means you're doing things for others. You put other people first. Not saying that you don't get nothing out of it. You get something out of it, right? There's, a lot of ladies talk about different love languages, and some ladies, they got words of affirmation as a love language. They got, physical touch. They got the whole servitude, servitude, I think it was love language, and the list goes on. The point is not every chick, I get it, not every female, has the servitude, love language. But that's why you gotta find the right guy that fits you. Because it might be a guy who doesn't need you to do much of anything, right? You're more likely to be a trophy wife or a trophy girlfriend, right? You're just there for the aesthetics and for the, sex, of course. But just there for the aesthetics, just there for the arm candy. He don't need you to do much because he got maids and whatnot, right? He got everything covered, so he doesn't need you to do much of anything. And then, of course, he's, the fact that he gives you compliments and gives you gifts is what you like. Because you're the, words of affirmation person. You're the person that needs to be, told you're, pretty and this, that, and third, right? Usually because you have low self-esteem. So that's the role you play, right? Because you're in that situation. But that's for another topic, right? The point is that it's always annoying seeing ladies complain about, the choices in their lives. And it's like, oh, why people make a big deal about our choices? Is that it's fine that you make the choice. The problem is that you're advertising your choice online. Literally, I'll see a video of a chick talking about, like, I choose to be single. Cool. That's your business, not mine. So why are you putting it on the internet? Why are you putting it out there like we need to know? It's like it's not our business that you choose to be single. If you choose to be single, that's fine. But then they always want to add something extra. It's not enough that they choose to be single. Then they want to disrespect guys on top of that. They want to say negative things like, oh, no. You say you chose to be single. That's a you choice. That's a you thing. Don't try to justify you being single by saying negative things about guys. Trying to make it seem like guys are the reason you're single. No. You're single because you choose to be. Because clearly, you don't interact with good quality dudes. Guys who, you have nothing bad to say about. The fact you have negative things to say about guys means you choose guys that only wanted the booty and they left. And that's it. They took what you had to offer, and all you had to offer was your body, and that's it. You had nothing more that they want, so they left. And now you want to be butthurt about it, and then say you choose to be single. Nope, not in that scenario. You didn't choose to be single. No one's offering you a relationship. It's not like every guy that walks up to you like, hey, I want to be your boyfriend. You're like, no, I choose to be single. No, it's guys not offering you that at all. But you want to make it sound like it's your choice. It's like that whole ignorant Joan where like your boss wants to fire you, but as soon as you walk you walk in, you say you quit before your boss fires you. Because you want to, you want that. That's petty. Want to say you quit before you actually get fired, but the reality is you're fired, right? Because you ain't a good worker. So that's all that is when a chick says, oh, I choose to be single. I'm happily single. That's letting me know the total opposite. When I hear that, it lets me know you're not happy. You're mad that you have to be single because you can't handle being in a relationship. Because one, you keep picking the wrong guy, right? As in you keep picking a guy who doesn't really want a relationship like that. And you're mad about it because you like him, but he doesn't like you like that. So then you want to be butthurt about it because you feel, right? You feel that you deserve more than just a booty call. You think you deserve a relationship. I'm not saying you don't. Just the fact that you keep choosing the guys who don't want to give you relationships, and you feel that they should, because you think you're worthy for a relationship from them, but you're not. Usually those types of guys, right? They're typically fuckboys, and all they want to do is be happily single and mingle, and you're mad that they don't want to settle down, that they want to keep mingling. So of course you're going to project instead of accepting the fact that you're just not good at picking a guy who wants to settle down. You just want to be mean, right? Be bitter. Oh, men ain't shit. Blah 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 blah. I'm happily single. I'm single by choice. It's like, no, you're not. No one's single by choice. That's very rare to be single by choice. But anyway, you choose to be a wife, right? Like I said, it's easy to be selfish. It's easy to be single, right? Because it just means no one's picking you, right? So when you're a wife, well, clearly you're picked. Clearly you're valuable. So that's why, when you're in that position, you gotta maintain it because you could be replaced by somebody else who's better at the position, right? If you start slacking at being a wife, don't be surprised that you stop being a wife. And then someone else comes and replaces you. So like I said, it's easy to be single. To be, you have to be single, but it's 3 or 4, but it's not that easy to be a wife, because you have to be exactly what he's looking for. Because you have to be able to, if he's a cop, you gotta be able to be the wife of a cop, right? The girlfriend of a cop. If he's a doctor, you gotta be the wife of a doctor, right? Based off of his profession, which is part of why you chose him. You chose him because he makes money a certain way. Let's say he's a drug dealer. Well, you gotta be the girlfriend of a drug dealer. You can't be a regular girlfriend to a drug dealer and think that works. It doesn't. Can't be a regular wife to a drug dealer, right? Because it doesn't work that way. Like, let's say he's a drug lord. You can't just be a typical wife. You definitely can't walk around the city, going to, buying groceries or whatnot, because somebody's going to try to kidnap you, right? Somebody's going to try to use you to take down your man, which is the drug lord, right? So that's the thing. You gotta know how to be the proper wife to the guy you're with. You're part of his life. He building something. That's the thing. A man doesn't just exist. He has to become something. He has to create something. Right? Superman is Superman for a reason. Like, Lois Lane has to be the wife of Superman, right? Not the other way around. Superman ain't the husband of Lois Lane. Right? He doesn't have to become her husband. Right? He doesn't have to learn to be her husband. He just has to be Superman. And there you go. Husband material right off the bat. Because he obviously could provide, he could obviously protect, because he's freaking Superman. She has to be able to handle the Man of Steel, right? She has to handle his secret identity, make sure that no one finds out, make sure that no one tries to use her as his weakness, and the list goes on, right? So she has to live up to his standard. She has to measure up to him. Relationships between male and females are the same thing as a job. The man's the boss, regardless if you believe that or not. He is. And if anything, you should want the man to be the boss anyway. You should want to be with a man who is boss worthy. Right? You want to be with a man who is king status, so you could be his queen. Right? When he does things, you benefit from it. When he makes decisions, it benefits you. It makes no sense to talk about you want to be equal, or you want to be in charge. It typically doesn't work that way. Because one, when you're single, you're obviously 100% in charge of the decisions you make, and y'all tend to 99% of the time fail at it. Tend to choose poorly. Tend to make a lot of bad decisions. Y'all tend to regret a lot of things that y'all did. See, guys, when they get old, they regret what they didn't do, not what they did. Females always regret what they did do. Right? So, like, when it comes to partners, guys regret who they didn't fuck. Females regret who they did fuck. That's the difference there. But anyway, I'm not just gonna keep on rambling. Clearly, the point is, it's one thing is easy to know, right? To be a wife or even a girlfriend, you have to be selfless. You can be a little selfish here and there, but you still gotta be selfless for the relationship to work. You can't be selfish throughout the whole relationship and think it was gonna last. It's not gonna last. Just like, when a guy's being selfish in a relationship, the relationship typically doesn't last. He has to be selfless. The thing is, one of the many signs that a guy is a man is that he's selfless. He's not that selfish. He's a little selfish, but not very selfish. Because men are typically supposed to be selfless, and females typically are more selfish, because men give, women receive. So a guy is supposed to be selfless, a female is supposed to be selfish. But for the relationship to last long, there has to be a small balance of him being selfish from time to time, and you being selfless from time to time. So that way there's a balance. Y'all balance each other out. And that's the end of the video.